Hello everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft. We have a pretty bad pack to start here. There's no good blue cards and no good lands. Those are two of the most common things that I start with. A Skull Clamp is situationally very good. I think you can first pick this card. Baleful Strix is the best just value play, but I don't love committing to two colors this early. Liliana is pretty good. It is good interaction, it's cheap, and it also is a good enabler for Reanimator. And then there's Emrakul. And honestly, I think we just take the Emrakul. It's very, very good when it's good. You have to build around it to some extent, but it completely wins the game with Shallow Grave, with Sneak Attack, with Channel. There's just a few ways to use this that is pretty incredible, and if you're going to build around this card, you need to take it very early and play with that in mind. Yeah, I'll take the Emrakul. There's a good chance we don't end up playing this. I would say potentially even above 50%, but there's nothing else in that pack that was super exciting, and if this is good, it will be very good. Okay, now what do we want? Makeshift Mannequin is interesting. Makeshift Mannequin and Emrakul is a combo. This thing shuffles in from your graveyard, but Makeshift Mannequin gets around that. In fact, that might just be the pick. In terms of the best card, could be Zealous Conscript. A land is always going to be nice. But yeah, you know what? Let's take the Makeshift Mannequin. We have the Emrakul to pair with it. That gives us somewhat direction. We did just pass Liliana, which works well with this combo, but ideally with Emrakul and Makeshift Mannequin, you want to be reanimating it at the end of their turn. Although, Makeshift Mannequin makes the creature weak. As long as it gets targeted with anything, you sacrifice it. But Emrakul has protection from colored spells, so they can't target it with stuff like Swift End. They can target it with stuff like Zealous Conscripts or Flicker Wisp, though, which is kind of interesting, but I think we do take the Mannequin here. Definitely a very unusual start for me. I typically like to be much more open and take cards that are lower on the curve, mana fixing, stuff like that. But the power level is there. Okay, I think we take Preordain now. There's a couple fetch lands that could be good, but if you're playing a combo deck like this, you really need to be able to add consistency, and Preordain to dig for our combo is a good place to be. Yeah, I think that's the move. Spell Pierce is very good. We could take one of the lands. But let's just take the Preordain. Really solid card. So now, ideally, we end up in some sort of blue-black reanimating control deck, where we have some just like solid card advantage and counter magic and stuff, and then our win condition is like end of turn, loot with Jace, discard Emrakul, and Makeshift Mannequin to put the Emrakul into play. We could also find Shallow Grave. Alright, nothing that works with Emrakul in this pack, but some solid options. I'm leaning toward just taking the Force of Negation. If we wanted, there's no reanimation stuff. Custodial Lich is a good black card. But let's take the Force. It's a very strong card. And it also, since Makeshift Mannequin is an instant, we can fight on their turn. So this is typically not the best in combo decks because you can't use it to protect your combo. But if our combo is instant speed, then we get around that pretty well. So we'll take the Force. Also just a good card. Sometimes your opponent just plays Soul Ring on turn 1, and you need to have Force of Negation to interact very early. Okay, interesting pick here. There's a lot of Storm stuff. Brain Freeze, Yawgmoth's Will, Lion's Eye Diamond. That doesn't really work with what we have right now. So Yawgmoth's Will, or Lion's Eye Diamond could get there if we get something like Demonic Tutor. You can play Demonic Tutor for Makeshift Mannequin. Actually, no, that doesn't quite work. You need to already have the thing in your hand. We could just take Ulamog, which gives us a bit of redundancy. I think I'll do that, honestly. And then maybe we can wheel one of these combo cards and make it work. But yeah, we want some redundancy. We don't want Emrakul to be our only thing like this. Ulamog is quite a bit worse than Emrakul, but it's still very strong. Definitely a good start. So Corpse Sense and Shallow Grave are going to be high pickups. Neither of those in this pack. I think we just take Cabal Ritual, which is pretty good. We definitely might we might play this. Definitely might. We'll see. But yeah, let's take the Cabal Ritual. Okay, what do we want here? Nahiri is good. Nahiri Ultimate to find Emrakul is a real plan, but that also puts us into just too many colors, probably. Alternatively, we could take Gush for card draw or Ravenous Chupacabra for interaction. Honestly, I think Gush could be pretty good here, though. It's kind of close. But yeah, we're looking like we're going to be kind of combo-y, and Gush is good in combo decks. We'll try it. It's also a blue card to pitch to Force. Ooh, Mystical Tutor. That's a really good pickup. Also Past in Flames. But yeah, let's take the Tutor. That can find Makeshift Mannequin. Just a really nice pickup. Okay, now we get Palancron. I don't think we're playing anything else here. Palancron could be okay. If we get Sneak Attack, then Palancron can go infinite. So we could get, like, Sneak Palancron into play, go infinite, make infinite mana, cast our Eldrazi. There's also Lava Claw Reaches, but I think, well, because that would, if we could splash red, that would enable some really powerful things like Faithless Looting. Yeah, you know what, Palancron kind of sucks. Let's just take the Lava Claw Reaches, speculatively. Okay, I'll take Murderous Rider for interaction. Timeless Lotus could let us hardcast these things, but you need a lot of mana for that. Okay, we'll take a Fiery Islet now. More stuff for a potential Red Splash. I think this pack had Yawgmoth's Will and LED. But we'll take Oblivion Stone. Oh, no, this was the pack with that, right? Yawgmoth's Will. Hate Driver and Wingmare. Alright. A lot of potential here. We're going to need a few pieces to make it work. The things we need are, first of all, we need some good discard enablers. That could be Entomb. It could, I mean, even just a Putrid Imp. Liliana was taken. Interesting. Okay. Huh. So there's a lot of good cards here. Marsh Flats is good fixing. Ulamog gives us more redundancy at the top end. Kaito is a strong card in our colors. Packrat is a discard enabler, but I actually think we take Sheldock Isle. Just Sheldock Isle for Emrakul or Ulamog is a totally legitimate game plan, especially if we get Brainstorm to set it up. Yeah, that seems like a great pickup. Hopefully Kaito comes around. If it doesn't, I mean, who knows? We might not wheel anything from this pack, but that is just like a totally legitimate game plan. Just Sheldock Isle for this thing. Oh, there's Through the Breach. Okay, I think we take the Breach. That gives us more redundancy for the combo. Yeah, we'll take this. And now I'm happy that we took some of the red fixing. So Grixis, Emrakul. I'm in for it, baby. Let's see how this goes. An ambitious start, but I think a good one. Okay. We could take the Bone Shards, which is interaction that also is an enabler, but I think it's more important to take the Blood Crypt. Yeah, if Bone Shards comes around, I'll be happy about that, but Blood Crypt is too good here. We really want to be able to play this Through the Breach, and we also want to enable potential Faithless Looting, Dak Faden, things like that down the road, and getting a nice fetchable land will go a long way for that. Okay, interesting. Kolaghan's Command is great. There's also a Braid and Toxic Deluge, which are good interaction, but I think we take the Brainstorm for a few reasons. First of all, it's just a good card in this deck. It can add consistency, and then we have one shuffle effect right now with a Mystical Tutor. But the main reason we're getting it is for its synergy with Sheldock Isle. So now a real plan in a lot of games will be like, we could even Mystical Tutor for the Brainstorm, then play Brainstorm, put Emrakul on top of our deck, play Sheldock Isle to exile the Emrakul, and then if we get to the point where there's a library with 20 or fewer cards, we can just win. And then since there's so many good Rakdos cards in this pack, and I think Rakdos is open based on the late Lava Claw Reaches, we should be able to wheel one of these three cards. The one we would want the most is probably Toxic Deluge, actually, but let's take the Brainstorm. Okay, we'll just take Sneak Attack. I would love Archon of Cruelty, but this gives us even more redundancy. Really good pickup. I don't think Archon is likely to come around, but that's fine. Okay, now I think we take the Creeping Tar Pit. Bloodtithe Harvester is tempting. It gives us a blood token, which we can sacrifice to discard a card at instant speed. But I think given that we just picked up 2 ways to sneak something in from our hand, I think 3 versions of this part of the combo is basically enough. And I just want to make sure we have mana. Plus, manlands are actually very good with sneak attack because it'll be reasonably common for us to sneak Ulamog into play, hit them for 10, make them sacrifice a bunch of stuff, but then they can rebuild if we can't do anything to close the game. But Creeping Tar Pit lets us sneak in the last point of damage while our opponent is crippled. And also being a tapped land is probably fine in this deck. We're not really trying to curve out. Okay. Interesting pick. Sundering Titan is fine in this deck, but not great, especially because we're going to have a lot of land types. Cryptbreaker is a bad enabler for Makeshift Mannequin, but it does enable it. I think I'm just going to take Murktide Regent, actually, as an alternate win condition. We have 4 really cheap instants and sorceries already. Yeah. I think that seems solid. Okay, do we want Thran Dynamo or Seething Song? Thran Dynamo could let us hardcast these things. There's also Voidwalker, but that's a little too tough on the mana. I think I'll take the Seething Song. Rituals are actually pretty good here. We have 2 copies of this, so if we play a Seething Song, that gives us a turn 3 combo as opposed to turn 5. Yeah, we'll take the Song. Okay, nice. Kaito came around. Let's just take that. Ulamog is fine, but not quite as good as this other stuff. Yeah, Kaito's a really good enabler, as well as just being a blue card to pitch. Okay, is Arcane Proxy any good? Not really. This ability only triggers when you cast it. We could just flashback a Preordain or something, but I think Treasure Cruise is better. That's probably better than Murktide Regent for this deck, so I'll make that exchange. Nothing here that's that enticing. I guess I'll take Fire Blast. I don't think we're ever playing Tezzeret. Eldritch Call would be nice if we had the mana for it, but we're not going 5 color, so we'll take the Fire Blast. It's an okay sideboard card against, like, Splinter Twin or something like that. Now we'll take a Forge Master. Factory. Not getting the super late pickups, but that's fine. This deck is looking sweet. We have 16 spells we really want to cast. I want a bit more fixing, especially a fetch land or 2. And I would like one more thing to sneak into play. Grizzlebrand being probably the best. And then there's more consistency, more blue card draw. Cheap interaction would be good too. Nice. Blood Tithe Harvester Wield. That's a card we'll almost definitely play in the main deck. We'll see about this Yawgmoth's Will. It kind of plays well with the rituals. Yeah, that one could go either way. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a Mox, but it's a pretty bad Mox for us. I honestly think there's a very real chance we're supposed to just take one of these lands. Yeah, I think I'm passing Mox Pearl here. It's really not good with most of what we have. Like, it can accelerate into sneak attack, but I think Watery Grave is just better. Our fixing is kind of bad. Yeah, I'm going to take it. It's close. Animate Dead doesn't really work with what we have going. Snapcaster Mage would be good, but we really need to be able to cast our spells. Lotus Petal is honestly maybe better than Mox Pearl in this deck, but I still think we're taking the Watery Grave. Or is Steam Vents better? We're pretty even on red and black. Kaito came around later. I think blue-black is more open than blue-red. Yeah, I'm actually going to take the Steam Vents here. It's close, though. Okay. Here we have a few options. Probe is a solid card. We could also take Verdant Catacombs. That makes me wish that I had taken the blue-black land instead. I think that probably is the right pick. There's also Dimir Signet. But maybe just bad lands. No, we already have Blood Crypt. Yeah, let's take the Verdant Catacombs. Good pickup. I can't find blue yet, so that's what we want. Alright, now we'll take Expressive Iteration. That's a great pickup. Mystic Confluence is good too, but I think Iteration is a bit better. Yeah, we'll take this card. Okay. Some interesting options here. I don't think we're a Time Spiral deck. We could take Dark Ritual for speed. We could take Chain Lightning just as cheap interaction, or we could take Dragon's Rage Channeler. It depends on how all in on the combo we are. I think I'm going to take the Channeler here, actually. I do want interaction, but this is a really good enabler. It gives us a lot of card selection. It plays well with our cantrips, and it's also like the Manlands, just a good way to poke through the last points of damage. It's kind of close, but yeah, let's take the Channeler here. This pack is a bit of a brick for us. I think we just take Takenuma, which is not a card I'm thrilled with, but it's playable. Goblin Welder doesn't really do anything for us. I don't think we need Worn Power Stone. Yeah, we'll just take this as a minor upgrade over Basic Swamp. Okay, Suspicious Stowaway is great, so is Duress. Duress is probably a bit better. The Stowaway does give us some card selection, but Duress is very good interaction. Yeah, I'll take the Duress. Alright, so we're going to end up with only 2 big creatures to sneak into play. I would ideally prefer a third, but I think this is fine. Consider Memory Deluge and Inquisition. Interesting pick here. Inquisition is great interaction, but I do kind of want some card draw. I think I'm actually going to take the Deluge here. This is really good for churning through our deck to find our stuff, and we're a little bit light on card draw. We have Iteration, Treasure Cruise, but that's kind of it. Yeah, typically I go with the cheaper cards, but I think in this situation it makes sense to take the Deluge. Alright, I don't think we're playing this Cabal Ritual. Seething Song seems fine, though. Maybe we do just play this Murderous Rider. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's pretty good. Definitely an interesting draft. This is not the sort of deck that I typically do. Okay, do we want Shriekmaw or Mizium Mortars? Probably Shriekmaw. Mortars is better with Dragon's Rage Channeler, but Shriekmaw is more hard castable. Yeah, let's take the Shriekmaw. Inkwell Leviathan is a big boy, but it doesn't work well with our makeshift mannequin plan. Alright, I like getting a bit of cheap removal. I don't want to prioritize removal too highly. Like, you can definitely run into situations when you're playing combo where you just have too much interaction and then you have like a random Emrakul in your hand, and the key to having interaction is to have card advantage, but if you're trying to trade 1 for 1 and then you get stuck with dead cards in your hand, that's not really a recipe for success. So this is probably going to be a 17 land deck, which means we want to play 9 basics at the moment, which means we want 2 more spells. So if the draft ended now, we would probably play... I don't know. I honestly really don't want to play any of these cards on the board, so I'm very much hoping we can get 2 more good plays. We also could do 18 lands in this deck. Wow. Was not expecting Watery Grave to come around. Bone Crusher Giant's good too, but this is great because now Verdant Catacombs can get blue. Definitely taking that. Badlands Wield too. Could take Evolve Sleeper, but I think I'm just going to solidify the mana base. I know I said I want 2 more spells, but having perfect mana is really, really valuable. Adds a lot of consistency. So we could just main deck a random Oblivion Stone, which, I mean, this card can kind of win games on its own from time to time. Then maybe we do play the Ritual. Hard to say. Forge Master doesn't do anything. We're not a Bloodghast deck. We could play another graveyard thing of Murktide, since we are pretty good at filling our graveyard. Although wait, this is actually more spells than we need. Okay, so we would run if the draft ends now. We run this, and then these are the two cards we're hoping to cut. Cabal Ritual is worse than Seething Song because Seething Song lets us play turn 3 sneak attack or through the breach. I wish I had more tutors. We have one mystical tutor, which can find through the breach or makeshift mannequin or card draw. But it would be much better if we had demonic tutor, vampiric tutor, stuff like that, because we only have two Eldrazi, which means there will be some games where we can set up we have through the breach and everything, we're good to go, but we don't have a way to find the Eldrazi. Interesting. I don't think we're doing Dark Depths. Putrid Imp works well with the makeshift mannequin, but nothing else. We didn't really end up being a graveyard deck, so I don't think we need the Putrid Imp. I think I'm just going to take Batterskull as a sideboard card. Yeah, Batterskull is good against aggro decks. Alright, Reef is a great card. It's free interaction that also is just a legit threat. Aurelia is kind of interesting. It's good with, I mean, if we can get two attack triggers off, it seems like it's a little win more, but I don't think anything else here is great. Alright. I don't think I'm going to main deck the Stone, so I guess I will just play the Cabal Ritual as the last card. I think it's better than an 18th land. Although, maybe we just play 18th land of this. Let's see how this looks color-wise. So we'll sort by color. We are playing 9 blue, 9 blue, 8 black, 6 red. You know, actually, maybe we just play Murktide. Yeah, Murktide is probably good here. Oh, but then I don't really want to play Yawgmoth's Will. Yawgmoth and World actually doesn't seem that good in this deck. So we could play this plus 18 lands. If we were to run this, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue. Kind of want one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red. Honestly, I think we just run this. Yeah, we'll submit like this. Playing some. I think having a factory is good. Again, it works well with the sneak attack plan. We want to have random ways to push damage. I think the fixing is good enough, especially with this being kind of a spell. We also have 3 manlands plus Fiery Outlet to sack to draw, Sheldock Isle for value, Takanuma for value. That seems like it's a lot of. Yeah, that's enough reasons to play an 18th land. All right. I'm super excited for this. I don't typically play decks like this, but I think this one's a good version. See you in round 1. Alright, here we are for round 1 against Garrett. We're on the play. And yeah, we can keep this hand. It's kind of interesting. We have a lot of evoke stuff. I don't think I'm going to grief on turn 1. We could get burned for this, but I think I want to just play Dragon's Rage Channeler. They mulled a 6. That makes the grief play a little bit more tempting. But the problem is we just don't have pressure. If we could grief them and then win quickly, that would be one thing. But we can't really, so I think we need to play a bit of a slower game. And ideally hardcast the grief. If they have Soul Ring, we get kind of burned. But if they don't have something this turn... Putrid Imp. Okay, this should be fine. Verdant Catacombs, they can find blue mana. Let's duress them, and then we'll determine if we want to grief as well. Memory Deluge. I think I will graveyard this. It wouldn't be a bad draw, but we need another blue source, and this also helps us to get to Delirium faster. Okay, so... Hmm. We'll take the Exhume. If we pass back and don't grief right now, there's the risk of them having necromancy. Or of them having mocks to find necromancy. I think that's a risk that we take, though. So we'll take this and pass. I'm not going to offer this trade. And then Seething Song is kind of awkward here. It's worse than Cabal Ritual would have been, because Cabal Ritual would let us just hardcast Grief next turn, but now we're going to have to probably evoke Shriekmaw. Not that Shriekmaw is likely to be very good in this matchup. We'll probably side it out. So you play Swamp, swing for 1. And then we can just go evoke Grief and play Fetch Land, and that fills our graveyard. Okay. So we'll play this, crack it, grab Watery Grave. We could just hardcast. We could cast this just for the Surveil, but I don't think that's worth it. I will hold the Seething Song. So we'll go Watery Grave tapped, and then evoke this to take their Necromancy. And then we don't have a ton going, but we do have a 3/3 with flying. We get Surveil triggers. They're also pretty far away from anything relevant. But the problem with this situation is that if we have a lot of dead draws. So look at their hand, make them discard the Necromancy, almost definitely. Okay, we're still making them discard Necromancy, but that's a little scary. They might be they can Vampiric Tutor for another reanimation spell. So we'll hit for 3 and pass. And if we find a blue source, we can actually flashback Memory Deluge. Oh wait, no, we need a blue source plus this Badland, so we can do that on turn 5. So they Vampiric Tutor. We'll see what they get. I think it's fairly likely they get Recurring Nightmare, and that will be very hard for us to beat. Enemy dead, yeah, same thing. Honestly, this is not terrible for us. We'll see. I hope they should take out the Watery Grave. I hope they take out the Dragon's Rage Chandler, because the Chandler has... Okay, they made the right play. Chandler has to attack into the Ashen Rider, unfortunately. Which is pretty bad. So we'll take our draw, but yeah, I think we're going to lose this game. And then need to win games 2 and 3. What are we hoping to draw? There's like no good draws, honestly. Expressive Iteration is what we wanted, but now we don't have the blue mana for it anymore. We could just find a kill spell for this, I guess. Mishra's Factory. Alright, we'll play that. Then just suicide this guy in there. Honestly, I think I'm just going to fire off this Seething Song for the Surveil. So block, of course. Seething Song, baby. 3 mana, Surveil 1. Alright, we'll draw this. That's a pretty good one. I mean, it's not great. They're going to be able to... yeah, we could kill the Ashen Rider next turn. They're going to be able to kill one of our lands. They're also going to hit us for 5. But then they'll be top decking. If they find a 3rd reanimation spell, we could be in bad shape. But this gives us an outs to win. Alright, so we'll take this. They entomb. Hopefully they don't have anything that they're anything good to entomb for. And they're just doing this to try and get Putrid bigger. Something like a Bloodghast could be a bit annoying. Custodial Lich, okay, that's fine. I don't think there's any need to cast this now. We can just pass. Also, not much benefit in pass in like holding off, but it could change their play potentially. And then they'll need to decide between exiling our Mishra's Factory and our Badlands. They'll probably hit the Badlands. So this is going to turn the Putrid Imp bigger. Oh, interesting. Okay, I think I'm going to go for the block here. And take 4 and then go for the end of turn kill. Okay, they give it flying in response. Okay. In that case, we should just kill this. That gives this 1 more power and takes away 4, so it saves us 3 life. So they need to decide between which one of these they want to take. Honestly, this Putrid Imp could be a bit of a problem. It's a 2-2 now. If they take out our Badlands, it's a bit of a fast clock, because we won't be able to gain life. They do go for the Badlands. So I think Watery Grave is in exile. That's too bad, because that would have been, like, Watery Grave or a fetch land to find it would have been the best draw. We could find, like, Creeping Tar Pit would be a solid one. We're down to 9. They're at 15. Interesting game. We draw Gush. Certainly the worst draw on the deck. I think even worse than Emrakul. I'm going to hit them for 2. We could leave this back to try and trade, but they can give this flying if they want to. Actually, maybe we are supposed to block, because they can't attack into this without giving it flying. And if they're discarding a card, that seems fine. Okay, so we'll just take this, and then really just want to find lands, blue or black, anything other than a basic mountain. Okay. All right, let's just pass. 1 more land and we can play Gush. They go for the attack, we'll go for the animate. Then they'll give this flying, which puts us to 5, but it also takes a card out of their hand. Okay, yep. This is fine. Down to 5. Now, we have many good draws. Any land would be good here. Steam Vents. Okay, we'll play this tapped and pass. Alright, once again, we'll try to block. They'll discard a land, probably. Strange game. Just Putrid Imp beats. 1 mana 2-2 with flying. It's like a worst Delver of Secrets. Alright, down to 3. But I think we're actually potentially ahead here. Preordain. Okay, let's cast Preordain first. Okay, I think we just bottom. Kaito, yeah, Kaito is probably not worth it. Through the Breach, okay. Now we will Gush, returning 2 lands. Expressive Iteration. Okay, we'll go Mannequin in the hand. Sneak Attack on the bottom. Exile Blood Crypt. Play Blood Crypt tapped and pass. We could play it untapped and play this, but then we die. So we'll do this. And now we have a plan, which is, first of all, they need to discard their card if they want to attack us again. Then they could put us to 1, but then we can bring back Makeshift Mannequin back Dragon's Rage Channeler, which will have flying and can block the Putrid Imp. Funny how we missed like land drops for a long time and now we have 3 lands in hand. I guess that's what Gush does. Okay, so this is fine. We go to 1. Okay, now how do we want to do this? We could play Steam Vents tapped. I think I want to play Island though. This way we can animate the factory. They'll go to discard. They'll discard their card to give this flying, and then we can bring back the thing. So let's play Island and pass. Wild game. There's definitely things that kill us here. They could just have collective brutality. So we'll go for this. They discard. Then we makeshift mannequin back Dragon's Rage Channeler. Not usually targeting a 1-drop with this, but in this situation, this is correct. We get this back. We can block their thing. Then we're honestly a great spot. We're going to be able to flashback Memory Deluge soon. We have Through the Breach. So we could just top deck Emrakul and win. They don't have anything going now. If they draw a reanimation spell, they could bring back Ashen Rider, which is big, but they need to top deck well. Oh, we just found the land. That's just great. Awesome start to the league. On turn 11, we bring back Emrakul for the win. All right. What a game one. All right, so we're playing against Reanimator. Do we want to make any changes here? I don't think Fire Blast is very good. I don't think Oblivion Stone is very good either. Do we want Cabal Ritual? Probably not. Let's just run the main deck back. Awesome first game. Very close. We found our blue lands just in the nick of time. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's enough blue sources. It's not ideal, but especially on the draw, I think that's okay. It was really only a problem because I put Ashen Rider into play quickly. Through our double Thoughtseize, actually. You could say, like, oh, your opponent bricked a bunch of times. They just drew a bunch of lands. But A, those lands actually were useful in that situation. They needed cards to discard to be pressuring us. And B, they used Vampiric Tutor plus 3 of their reanimation spells in the first 3 turns. So, but they'd gone through a lot of their combo stuff already, and we were able to fight through that. So I think it's not... If they just drew lands and had never played any reanimation spells, then sure, we won because they just had a terrible draw. But I don't think that's the case here. One thing worth noting, I think Murktide Region is kind of weak here. It's bad again. Oh, wait, we don't want Shriekmaw. Let's cut Shriekmaw and bring in Batterskull. I think that's better than Cabal Ritual. Just letting us race is fairly valuable. It also gives us another card type for the DRC. It does lower our black card count, so we could play a Cabal Ritual. Actually, maybe on the draw we do that. Yeah, well, 2 rituals is kind of a lot. These will be dead draws sometimes, but we're on the draw. I think a little bit of extra speed is good, and having cards to pitch to Grief is also good. Interesting. Okay, we'll keep this hand. Force of Negation is good interaction. We don't have red mana yet, but we can dig for it with Kaito. I like having lots of free spells. Opponent's in the tank about whether or not to keep this hand. I don't want them to mulligan into Oblivion because that makes for bad games, but I wouldn't mind them starting on 6. Alright, they decide to keep, as will we. No play on turn 1. Murderous Rider, not really what I was looking for, but it is a good card. So we're playing 18 land, which means 16 of the remaining 32 cards in our deck are lands. Exactly 50%. Any one of them would be a good draw here. Okay, Putrid Imp is fine. This Seething Song could just be another land, although I don't think you'd ever want to play 19 lands in this deck. Given that we drew just a brick, I kind of wish that I just played Mishra's Factory on turn 1, but still not even really. That just means we're basically trading 2 damage for 2 damage. Okay, they play Vampiric Tutor, that's fine. We're going to be just playing Force of Negation on whatever they're getting here. My guess is they just get, like, Exhume, and then discard something to this. And then we Force of Negation the Exhume. But the problem is, then any future reanimation spells they get will be good. It'll be kind of interesting if they play Entomb, if we want to counter that or save the counter for the reanimation spell. Alright, they discard Ashen Rider. There's the Exhume. I think I'm pitching Gush here. Since Kaito is a good draw if we draw anything other than basic mountain, any land. Alright, they hit us for 1. They have 2 cards. The problem is, if they have a reanimation spell, they can just cast it. It doesn't really matter that they're low on cards if the cards are the right cards. We do draw land, though. So let's just play Kaito. And I think we could loot. Yeah, let's loot, because this Seething Song... Well, the Seething Song could give us Through the Breach. Yeah, I think I'm just going to plus here instead of making a dude. Okay, let's discard Through the Breach. Sneak Attack is a better version of that effect. And now if we top deck one of our Eldrazi, we can sneak it into play next turn and probably win. Do they have a way to put Ashen Rider into play? No. Okay, good. Graveyard Trespasser doesn't really work against us because our combo is instant speed. So they hit us for 1. Don't care about that. Akanuma. Okay, let's loot. Brainstorm. Interesting. I think we just discard Seething Song, though, and play the Sneak Attack. Gives us a lot of live draws. I guess if they put Ashen Rider into play and take out our Sneak Attack, then we're far away from comboing. They only have 1 card, though. I don't think they have the Sneak Attack yet. Yeah, I'm gonna risk it. We could get burned for this, but I think it's worth it to try. And then they can't kill our Kaito. This is a key turn. If we get to untap, we get to play DRC, Brainstorm, Kaito again. We're pretty likely to find some action. But if they put Ashen Rider into play this turn and take out our Sneak Attack, we'll be behind. Okay, Collective Brutality is fine. They get to take our Brainstorm, but I still like our position. Kaito's going to survive. They're also just top decking. Alright, so Brainstorm down. Kaito's going to go to 1. This is all okay. We can hit them with the Mishra's Factory if we want to... if we want to just draw a card and not have to discard. We draw land. Okay, I think I'm just going to plus this now. Not go for the attack. Since we drew a card that we don't care about. Okay, Mystical Tutor. Does that do much for us? Not yet, but I think we keep it still. Discard land. Play the Channeler and pass. And then we can threaten to block the Graveyard Trespasser with Mishra's Factory. I don't really want to play Hero's Downfall on it because we have to discard a card to pay the ward cost. And then we could just Mishra's, or we can Mystical Tutor for Expressive Iteration if we want. All right. Trade the Factory with a Trespasser. Then we will, yeah, so you do this, you block, then you tap it to give itself +1, and it works. And then I think we will go for this Mystical Tutor end of turn. If we see an Eldrazi on top, okay, I think I'll just graveyard this. Don't really care about that. Then we'll search for Expressive Iteration. Could also take Treasure Cruise. We'll have 5 cards in the graveyard, 6 if we use Kaito. Yeah, that's probably better. And I don't care about these cards in the graveyard. I'm fine shuffling them all away. So let's... So we could use all of our mana here, or we could loot one first, which means we have the out of playing Sneak Attack. I think that's worth it. Oh, wow. Okay, let's discard this. Play Treasure Cruise. Don't care about that. I wouldn't mind drawing a land, but that's not really it. Okay, nice. We found our thing, so we'll sneak Ulamog into play. And this should basically seal the deal. So they're going down to 1 land. If they have a land in hand, they could go Animate Dead on Ashen Rider. I mean, they're still... It's not over, but... They're pretty low, they have not much going, and we get the Manland. The Manland is pretty key here. Plus, we still just have a good hand, so I think we're going to be able to pull this one off. Do they have the Exhume? Nope. All right. Let's play. So we could animate Raging Ravine and hit them for 4. I think it's still better to just do some digging. So we'll play Iteration. Looking for a creature. Not a creature land. All right, nice. So we'll go hand, bottom, exile, and then just sneak the Ulamog right back into play. GG. All right, good start. We're doing the combo thing. See you in round 2. All right, here we are for round 2 against Matthias KM. Oh, playing against a fan. That's always nice. All right, on the play. Can we get a good hand? Yeah, I think this hand's good enough. We'll keep. I2. Do we want to preordain here? Probably not. I think I'm just going to play Lava Claw Reaches. We also could Grief on turn 1, but that just seems too... that's not necessary. If we know that they're playing a broken deck, we might do that for games 2 and 3. But, alright, playing against green should be a solid matchup. Okay. I'm going to preordain. Shelldock Isle is interesting. I think I will keep the Shelly. Yeah, let's keep this. It's close. But that's really good with Brainstorm. We're probably not going to use Shelldock Isle next turn. I think we're just going to play Kaito. But then the turn after we can Brainstorm plus Shelldock Isle. Bitter Blossom. Okay, this is quite slow. It is actually pretty good against Annihilator, but I still think this seems fine. Force of Negation, okay. This turn we're still just going to grab a blue-black land and play Kaito and plus. I want to plus Kaito because I want to A, dig for something to put under Shelldock Isle. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to discard Blood Crypt here. Honestly, all of these cards are solid. Could also just discard Grief, actually. Because I think I want to cast... There's a good chance we want to just play Sneak Attack next turn. No, let's discard the Blood Crypt. And then next turn, we'll like brainstorm. We'll see a lot of new cards. And then potentially Grief them that turn. Oh, wait, we should not F6. Not F6 at all. Okay. If they were to Mind Twist our hand or something, we would want to do something about that. But looks like their hand is a little slow. So we'll untap. Mystical Tutor. Okay, I think we just brainstorm to start. Actually, let's Kaito to start. No, let's brainstorm. Okay. These are pretty bad. We didn't hit the Eldrazi. We could just put Sneak Attack under there. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then what's the other card we don't want? Probably Gush. Or Grief. No, we'll do Gush. So we'll put Gush and Sneak Attack on top. Then we'll play Duress. Oh, interesting. Playing against Reanimator. Okay, we'll take the cheaper one. So if they find a discard outlet, we could be in rough shape. Then we will play this. Grabbing Sneak Attack. Or do we do Treasure Cruise? No, let's do Sneak Attack. I want Treasure Cruise in the deck to find with Mystical Tutor. Then we'll loot. Well, that's a card. I think we just discard... Oh, man. I like all of these cards. I don't want to discard Emrakul because I don't want to lose my hand. And I also don't want to shuffle in my graveyard. I think I'm just going to discard Grief. But then the problem is they could Necromancy the Grief. So let's discard Memory Deluge. Yeah, that seems fine. Then we'll pass. So we have Force of Negation up if we need it, and then hopefully we can just Mystical Tutor for Treasure Cruise, draw a bunch of cards, and turn on Shelldock Isle. Or turn on Shelldock Isle. Okay, this is fine. Smuggler's Copter. Okay, so starting next turn, that will be able to do some bad things, but I think we're going to be able to... we will be able to Sneak Attack first. Almost definitely. So we'll grab Treasure Cruise. I think that's better than getting through the breach. So let's loot. I actually want the card in the... Oh, no, we don't need the card in the graveyard. No, I will loot first. So we could attack with Emrakul to just straight up draw a card instead of looting, but I want to keep the Memory Deluge in the graveyard. So we'll plus... Discard Grief. Then we Treasure Cruise, delving away everything except for Memory Deluge. This puts us down to 19 cards in our deck. Oh, wow. Okay, we can actually just kill them. That's awesome. So we go land, Shelldock Isle to put Sneak Attack into play. We know their entire hand, so we know they don't have any interaction. Then we'll sneak in Ulamog and sneak in Emrakul. Then we attack you for 25 and you sacrifice 10 permanents. Pretty awesome. They have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 permanents, so just enough to make them sack everything. All right, up a game against Green Black Reanimator. Do we want to make any changes? Shriekmaw is probably okay if they're playing Mana Dorks. I definitely like Duress and Force of Negation. I think I like Grief. It is awkward that they can reanimate our Grief, but still, having cheap interaction against combo decks like this is important. The rituals honestly just don't seem that good. I don't think that's really the sort of deck we're trying to be. And we don't have any cards. You don't have any red cards to pitch this to, so we could bring in Cabal Ritual to pitch the Grief, and also just be a cheaper ritual. Could also bring in Oblivion Stone. Seems kind of weak. I don't think we need Batterskull. Yeah, we'll play the Cabal Ritual. So far, this deck has seemed very powerful, in addition to being very spicy and fun. Okay, we can keep this hand. It's heavy on the card draw, so we will need to find some action, and if they have a really fast hand, they could just beat us before we get going. But I'm happy to see a tap land on turn 1. Nice, okay. There's the Ulamog. Let's just play this tapped and pass. We could just play Expressive Iteration to dig for 1 card, but I don't think that's right. They have a 3-drop. What is it? Liliana. That's totally fine. Although it does mean Kaito can't make a 1-1, but that's not a problem. Say plus this. Gush. Interesting draw. Let's play the Kaito. Loot. I think I'm just going to discard the Cabal Ritual. Okay, milling over Strip Mine. If they have Ramanap Excavator, that's bad. Oh no. Oh, that's a disaster. Okay, I think we just lose to this, basically. It's going to be really hard to ever build up mana against Ramanap Strip Mine. That sucks that they hit that. They had 2 looks, and they do get there. Let's loot. Discard Deluge, because it's expensive. Grab Black Red Land. And play the Blood Tithe Harvester. This is going to be an uphill battle, though, if they're playing Strip Mine every turn. We're just going to be stuck on 3 mana forever. Can we win from that position? Probably not. We could potentially find a kill spell for the Ramanap. Hit our Badlands, okay, taking us off of red. So we need to basically find Black Source plus... oh, well, we also need them to not have anything else. They have another play. Pest Infestation. Okay, in response, we will sack this to discard Gush and draw. Takanuma, not really good. Shriekmaw! Oh, that's Kutch. Okay, alright, we're back in this. We can kill their Ramanap. They can kill off their Liliana to bring back the Ramanap, so we're still in a bad position, but we can draw a card. And then keep in mind, they're not hitting their own land drops either, so it's not like we're super behind on mana. Shriekmaw to kill this. We are out of red mana, so we don't have a good answer for the expressive iteration. Or we don't have mana for the expressive iteration. Hopefully that's fine. We'll play our tapped land and pass. Then they can cash in their Lily to rebuy Ramanap, and then play Ramanap to rebuy Strip Mine. Oh, they plus. Interesting. Okay, hopefully no Crucible of Worlds. Necromancy to bring back Ramanap. Okay. Blood Crypt, interesting draw. We could kill their Liliana. I think that's actually worth it. Liliana being in play is problematic here. And this way we also get to draw an extra card with Kaito. Grief. Okay, can't play that this turn, but it's not a bad draw. So we might be able to win even if they strip mine us every turn. It depends on what they have this turn. But if they don't have something good for 4 mana, they're just going to be on 4 mana for a while. They kill our Blood Crypt, really going after our red mana. Do they have another play? Chrome Mox, okay. Have a 5-drop. Is this a Mind Twist for 4? Yes, it is. Alright, we lose our graveyard. This is not terrible. We draw Blood Crypt again. Okay, that's a good draw. Hit for 3. We're kind of doing it. Let's draw a card. I'm going to hold this to play so that we can play Expressive Iteration next turn. And we'll just hardcast Grief. Okay, Recurring Nightmare is kind of interesting. I think I'm going to take the Finale, though, since right now Recurring Nightmare doesn't do anything. Replay Strip Mine again, killing our or our Creeping Tar Pit. But we're going to be able to play Expressive Iteration. There's the Nightmare. Okay, let's attack with both. We're also threatening to just ultimate Kaito, so they're going to need to block with this soon. Let's draw. Play the Iteration. We're probably not going to get a 2-for-1 here. Oh, we do get a 2-for-1 here. Okay, nice. Do we want Emrakul in the hand, or do we want an extra land? I think I'll just take a land here. I kind of want the Emrakul in the deck so that Kaito Ultimate threatens... Oh, wait, no, this only finds blue or black. I still think I'm going to keep Emrakul in the deck, though, so we'll go hand, bottom, exile, cast the Preordain. Okay. Don't need another island, but Shriek Maw can kill the Ramanap. They're also down to 11 now. We could have left one of these back to threaten the ultimate, but again, the ultimate is actually not that good when it only gets blue or black. I thought it could get any creature at first. So hit our Kaito. It's fine. Okay, we can just hardcast Shriekmaw now. Is that better? Let's draw. Yeah, I think we want to have the extra body in play. So we'll go land, Cabal Ritual for 3 mana, hardcast Shriekmaw. And now we have 3 attackers, any 2 of which are lethal. Alright, we get there. Sweet, we are yet to drop a game. I'll see you in the finals. Alright, here we are for the finals against Microcosmos, I think. We're on the play, which is good. And this hand is not going to cut it. Just all lands. Alright, this hand will cut it. Let's keep and put back, I think, Seething Song. We could, like, it does let us do Sneak Attack earlier, but that only works if we find exactly one of our big Eldrazi. I think I'm going to bottom that. and then just play Tar Pit. So we have removal spell available on turn 2 if we need to. And if we don't need to, we can Preordain plus Mystical Tutor for some serious dig. Soul Ring, come on. I guess that's what happens when you're in the undefeated bracket. So let's play the Preordain. Force of Negation is interesting, but I don't think I want it on a mulligan on the play. We'll just do some digging. Okay, I think I'm just going to Mystical Tutor for Expressive Iteration. And now we'll see what they can do. I mean, they have Soul Ring. They have 4 mana on turn 2. That's kind of broken, but that's what Vintage Cube is about, so hopefully we can handle it. If they Mind Twist our hand, we're probably just dead. If they play like a Grief or something, it's fine. Best case scenario is they just pass, or they play something slow like a Bitter Blossom. Kaito. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's definitely strong, but compared to what they could do on turn 2, that's not terrible. So we'll go for our Mystical Tutor. This isn't a super strong line, to be honest, but I think it is the right line. Let's grab the Iteration. And then, I mean, we have the Sneak Attack. If we can Iteration and find Emrakul, plus a land, I like our position. Okay, we'll go Murderous Rider in the hand, Force of Negation on the bottom, Exile Duress, and then Duress them. Oh, they do have the Mind Twist. Okay, we'll definitely take that. And then next turn we can decide between Murderous Rider to kill Kaito or just hardcast Sneak Attack. Oh, we could also just try and hit Kaito with Creeping Tar Pit. That's probably the best line. Plus Kaito, draw a card. We'll see if they decide to hold the Frantic Search or do it now. Okay, sure. Frantic Search. It remains to be seen if they're playing Reanimator. I would love it if they just cast Phantasmal Image to copy their ninja token. Okay, they discard the 2 cards we know about. So their hand is 4 unknowns, and they have 5 mana. Okay, Signet, that's fine. Into Signet, that's also fine. Into anything? Pass, okay. So that's a good draw, but I still think we just go for the Creeping Tar Pit play this turn. So kill your Kaito. And now we'll see. They have 2 cards. They have a ton of mana. If their 2 cards are good, it's rough for us, but we can do a lot next turn. We can play Sneak Attack and get Sheldock Isle down, which means that we have a lot of draws that just win. It looks like they do have some gas here, though. It's a lot of mana for Grizzlebrand. Okay, we need to kill that. It's pretty bad. Although it will turn our Sheldock on very quickly. They could pay life again, but then they're pretty weak to Creeping Tar Pit. Okay, they pass. So we're in a really bad shape if they have Force of Negation. But let's go for the Swift End. Nice. Alright, then Sheldock Isle. Really hoping for an Emrakul. No such luck. These are pretty bad. I think we just take Kaito. Yeah, we'll do Kaito, but that's unfortunate. Although at the same time, it's putting a bunch of bad draws to the bottom. Like, we just want to, especially when we already have Sneak Attack in hand, we want to dig towards our Eldrazi. But the problem is, if they just counter or discard our sneak attack, then we don't have that much. And they just have so much mana and so many cards, so we kind of needed to hit an Eldrazi off of that Shelldock Isle. Alright, we'll see what they can get with the Spellseeker. Shallow Grave, so they can Shallow Grave Griselbrand. That puts us pretty low. Oh, Exhume. Shallow Grave here doesn't do much. Oh, okay. Well, they have the same combo we do. And this game, they were able to get it because they had Soul Ring, so they were faster. Our hand was good. We were going to be able to kill them soon. But they do take us down in game 1. Do we want to make any changes on the draw? I don't think so. Maybe Murktide Region is just not what this is about, and we just want to be fast. Yeah, I'll make that exchange. And we'll submit like this. Shriekmaw is not amazing, but I think it's fine. Okay, let's keep. We're going to play Shelldock on turn 1. Hopefully hitting an Emrakul. Okay, we'll take a Through the Breach. Shelldock Isle does not work with Memory Deluge. Man, okay, we're going to counter this. I hate that we have to do this, but I mean, we're just not going to let them be that far ahead on mana the whole game. Alright, Preordain, digging for some action. I think we just bought them both. Mountain wouldn't be the worst, but okay, yeah, that's why we do it like this. So we'll pass back. Next turn we can play Kaito, and we need to decide if we want to immediately start plussing to dig, or if we want to make a dude first. It's pretty close. I think I'm going to make a dude first. Expressive Iteration was a good draw. They have a Kaito of their own, okay. So, oh no, they put Griselbrand into the graveyard. That's just so good. Alright, hopefully we can find some discard. Let's hit them for 1. Plus Kaito. Duress. Okay, great draw. I think we're still playing Iteration first. Okay, we have Through the Breach under this, so we'll go Ulamog in the hand. Mannequin on the bottom. Exile Blood Crypt. Duress. Okay. And put the Blood Crypt into play and pass turn. So right now their hand does nothing. We took their one relevant card. But if they find Shallow Grave, we're just dead. I mean, they have very, very live top decks, and they get 2 looks. Okay, they discard Swamp. Did they find the reanimation spell? They did. Come on. Very frustrating. Although, actually, wait, this might be good for us, because now Ulamog is live. Putrid Imp, okay, that's fine. Hopefully we can find Emrakul. Okay, I'm going to plus this before doing anything else, in case we do find the Emrakul. And we have plenty of cards that we don't care about discarding. Okay, that's a good draw too. Let's discard Swamp. Then play Island. We can almost kill them here. Through the Breach, it's clutch that they have exactly 20 cards. So cast the Breach, put Ulamog into play, and then we'll go to combat and attack. Put the triggers on the stack. And then with this on the stack, I think I'm just going to kill the Griselbrand now, because that gives them 2 permanents. Yeah, that seems worth it. So unless they chump block, they go to 1. All right, nice. We take down game 2. Tight game. They put Grizzlebrand into play really quickly, even though we had the discard spell, but Sheldock Isle was able to get there for us. On the draw for game 3. Wow, what a match. It's kind of sweet that we get to play against a mirror match for the finals. Also funny that all 3 opponents we've had have been trying to cheat things into play. I wish I had a Relic of Progenitus. I don't think we want any dopey things. It's really just going to be who can combo first. Fire Blast doesn't help us. We could maybe get a cheesy win if they play 2 life on Grizzlebrand, pay too much life on Grizzlebrand, but that seems a little loose. I think we just run it back. Alright, on the draw for game 3. They had Soul Ring on turn 1 both of the first 2 games. Hopefully they have a more fair game hand this time. We have a great hand. I'll keep this. Okay, Crypt Breaker. I think we just want to play the Channeler before we play. Like, we could use a cantrip on turn 1, but let's just get the Channeler down. And do we want to shock? I don't think so. I think I'm basically just going to not care about my life and just try to not let them combo us. So I just want to have my good lands in play. So play this, shock, DRC, pass. And then we can grab an Underground Sea with the Verdant Catacombs. They pass. Or sorry, Watergrave, not Underground Sea. Then we'll play Preordain, Surveil. Don't think we need Basic Island. Also don't think we need either of these lands. Alright, next turn we have Kaito. Not going to attack here because of course they can just make a zombie. Now the question is, do they have Grizzlebrand again? Okay, nice. Just discarding Island, so they can't reanimate on turn 2 at least. Our life total is honestly under some pressure here. Do they have Kaito? Yes, they do. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to play Mountain Kaito. Okay, that's good. That gives us sneak attack next turn. I'll offer this trade if they want it. And this also just lets us draw a card. They don't accept the trade, unsurprisingly. We'll draw. And pass. And now we'll see. Like, they could just kill us here, but we have sneak attack on turn 5. We can probably kill them on turn 5 because we also can brainstorm plus Gush and Kaito to dig to find another thing to sneak into play. But they might just be able to kill us here. They have Kaito to dig and they have mana for Shallow Grave and stuff. We have no interaction. Okay, no Shallow Grave at least. They just put us down to 11. They're going to Kaito. And then we need to find some form of interaction on our next turn. I guess we have a few lines. We could just hardcast Sneak Attack and just hope they don't have anything for one more turn. Or we could play a lot of our card draw and try and find interaction. Best case scenario is we just top deck Force of Negation. Putrid Imp, okay. Alright, so they have Crypt Breaker mana available. Memory Deluge. Interesting, interesting. Let's just plus to start. Through the Breach. Man, I really want to just jam Sneak Attack and hope for the best, to be honest. It loses to a lot of things, but we have a very good chance of being able to kill them next turn if we don't lose to it. Or if they don't kill us here. I'm going to keep the Through the Breach, though, in case they counter the sneak attack. So what we're going to do is discard Memory Deluge. I'm going to go to second main because I want to leave this back on defense. And we might surveil into something. Then we'll shock and cast sneak attack. And find a grief. We could potentially gush if we find force of negation or something. Okay, I don't think we need this. Do we want to play the gush now in case we find like grief black card? That seems a little too narrow, so I'm just going to pass. Shields down. This is the key turn of the game. Hopefully they're just discarding another land here. Although even if they discard Grizzlebrand, it's actually not... We could beat them putting Grizzlebrand into play pretty easily. They're deciding what they want to discard here. So Shallow Grave probably... Okay, they discard Exhume, sure. Shallow Grave would kill us on basically anything. But we're in a really good position if we can untap. I think if they Shallow Grave, like Emrakul, we're just dead, certainly, so we would need to go for the Gush to dig for Force of Negation. If they Shallow Grave, Grizzlebrand, same thing, we're just out on board. So, hopefully they don't have that. We're going to chump block with the DRC. The Channeler, well, actually maybe not. The Channeler gives us more digging. Especially with Treasure Cruise, it's probably worth it to keep that. Scary situation. Hopefully they don't have something. Just got a nice comment on my most recent video. That is always good. Here's a mid-game reminder that if you like the channel, please like, subscribe, give a comment. Any of that stuff really helps in the algorithm. Even if you don't have a specific moment in the match to comment on, you can just say hi. But if you do have any comments, misplays, interesting lines, questions, I very much appreciate that. I try to respond to every single comment. So, yeah, feel free to drop that for sure. All right, they're deep in thought. So I don't think they just have the combo. If they have, like, Emrakul, Shallow Grave in hand, they can just kill us. But they would have just done that. So they're probably debating what to do here. They have a few lines. They just go to combat, though. That's good for us. And send at us for 2 damage. Okay, we'll let this happen. And then blue-black is not really a color that can deal with enchantments very well. They might be able to bounce the sneak attack. But I think we're pretty likely to be able to untap with sneak attack, and then we can dig through a lot of cards. I guess we only have one thing that we're digging towards, so we need to decide how much we want to commit to finding Emrakul right now. The problem is Ulamog attack actually doesn't do that much on its own. Phantasmal Image here is not that scary. Alright, do they just pass? Ooh, Shelldock Isle, okay. So that's going to be live. How many permanents do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So theoretically, they could win even if we hit them with Ulamog and... No, actually, they would die. If they could win with just Island Shelldock if they have Emrakul under the Shelldock. I think we're going to be in a bad shape unless we can find Emrakul this turn. So let's Kite Vow to start. Discard Breach. Do we want to just go all in this turn? We can find 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can look at 12 cards. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's got to be right. So let's go blue, blue, Gush, Bouncing 2 lands. And we're just going to surveil everything other than Emrakul into the graveyard. Okay, no luck yet. Treasure Cruise. Delving away everything. Oh, well, alright, we should have kept Memory Deluge, but this is fine. Makeshift Mannequin, no. 3 more looks. Not yet. Oh, man. Okay, let's play Brainstorm. No, we could Duress first. Well, it depends. We can Duress first, but then we can't play Shelldock Isle. I think that's fine. I think we really want to get the kill this turn, so we'll dig 1 card deeper. So we play Duress. We get 5 more looks. There's 14 cards in the deck. They can just discard a card to Crypt Breaker if they want. I don't even care about the card. We're just doing this for the Surveil. Okay, well... Oh, does this help us at all? No, because we need blue mana. So yeah, we'll graveyard this. Okay. Then we'll Brainstorm so we get 4 more looks. That's such a good card, but I think I'm going to graveyard here. Alright, 3 looks. So we saw over half of our deck this turn. At the beginning of the turn, the odds were very good that we would hit. Now, after many, many bricks in a row, the odds are a lot less good. We're still potentially not dead even if we miss, because we can sneak in Ulamog and sneak in Shriekmaw as a blocker. But if this hits Emrakul, then we're good. We get 3 looks, come on. Oh, no. Brutal. Just brutal. We saw so many cards. Okay. Are we just dead? I mean, if the Shelldock has something good, then probably. We also somehow don't even have 2 blue cards to pitch to force. We dug through so many cards. Come on. Okay. So, what can we beat here? Or how do we proceed? We could play Shelldock Isle. Well, first of all, we need to think, do we need to sneak in Shriekmaw as well to survive? I think the answer is yes. Because if we just sneak in Ulamog, they can sack a bunch of lands and then just kill us in the backswing. Also note that we can put 2 bad cards on top of our deck and they will shuffle in because our opponent has because we're going to be sacrificing this Ulamog. So let's put back Swamp plus Steam Vents. Then we'll play Land and sneak Ulamog into play. And then we really hope that they don't sacrifice the Dragon's Rage Channeler. I don't think they will, so we'll attack them. They sacrifice 4 permanents. Man, we had so many looks. We saw 12 cards out of 21. Unfortunately, we did not find the Emrakul. Alright, they're just taking 10, sure. So this is fine on board. We'll have 2 blockers, and we can kill this. We can even potentially beat them doing something. But like if they have Emrakul specifically under the Shelldock Isle, we do die because they get the cast trigger. So we will go to discard. And I think pitch creeping tar pit. Okay, sure, they draw a card. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I thought that this was going to turn off Shelldock Isle, but it doesn't quite. Because we go up to 19 cards. Discard the tar pit. I want to keep Shelldock Isle better than tar pit. I think I want to have access to untapped blue mana if we want. And then Takenuma is also decent for digging. And then we can sneak Shriekmaw into play. If they just use Shelldock Isle, that would be the scariest thing. Anything other than Shelldock that they can do with this little mana is fine. Alright, so we're going to let them do their Surveil first. They do see that we have Shriekmaw. Wild game. They're also at 6, so we could maybe kill them in some weird way with just, like, sneaking into play Bloodtithe Harvester or something. If we can get to Delirium. So they attack with everything. Okay, we'll see what this is. So exile this, block this, take 2. Oh, I think we're exactly dead here. If they go for the Dragon Droid Chandler, we're exactly dead. Okay, so let's sneak in. Can we... So again, let's do the math. So kill this, block this. We take exactly 7 and die. Alternatively, we could sneak in Murderous Rider, block this. Then we go to 9, but we take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we also die. Oh, so close. So close. Alright, so sneak attack. Activate. In case I did the math wrong. Shriekmaw. If only we had not paid 1 life to Shocklands. Early in the game, I paid an extra life that we might have been able to avoid. But yeah, this puts us exactly dead. Oh, so close. Alright, so we can't quite get the trophy. Let's pull up the deck list. This was our Grixis combo deck. And it was a really good deck. We cruised through the first 2 rounds, then barely lost in the final one. We went 5-2, which is the best record you can have without getting a trophy. And I do think this deck was very, very strong. It had a lot of card draw and a lot of consistency. So we had 3 different ways to cheat into play these 2 big boys. And then a lot of card draw, some good interaction. Also 2 free interactive spells with Grief and Force of Negation, which is pretty great. And free card draw and Gush. Treasure Cruise was very good in this deck. There was a couple things that was slightly missing. So one was a third thing to sneak into play. If we had Grizzlebrand or Archon of Cruelty as a third piece up here, that would have really helped us, and then we would basically be guaranteed to win the third game. Like the fact that we could look at 12 fresh cards with sneak attack in play and didn't find a single thing to sneak into play is why we lost. We could have gotten the trophy if we found the Emrakul. It was unlucky. Like with 2 threats, you should still find something there. So we got unlucky, but if we had a third thing to sneak into play, that just lessened the chances of us getting unlucky there. We also could have taken a more conservative line and not just like gone all out digging there, but I think it's worth it to just try and win the game. Again, when you like, especially when it's over 50% likely that you are able to do so. If I remember correctly, we saw 12 out of 21 cards. Let's see, Gush saw 3, Treasure Cruise saw 4, so that's 7, Brainstorm saw 4, so that's 11, plus a Surveil on Duress is 12. Yeah, and then even after all that, we were still not dead unless they had a way to remove the blocker, which unfortunately they did. So I think we took the right line, even though it didn't quite pay off. Yeah, really, really close match. Interesting, fun, interactive. Would have liked to have gotten a trophy, but still we had a pretty sweet league. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.